Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Happy July 4th. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino in this hour, coming up in 15 minutes. 17 straight unders going on with a game tonight in Major League Baseball. Bottom of the hour, Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network, with his look at some bets tonight on the schedule. And here, Wilbo joins the program from Stadium Swim, Circa Las Vegas. Man about town here. Good to see you, pal. How are you today?
I'm fantastic, man. Thanks for having me. Happy 4th of July.
You bet.
You got it.
You came on with us a couple weeks ago in Omaha. You were talking, and you did some damage with the Jello shots, right?
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it really did. So you're good at that kind of thing. Today was obviously the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Chestnut did not disappoint.
Of course not.
What can you do? Like, what are we talking about for hot dogs? 10, 15 minutes.
Oh man, it's tough, especially in that heat. I mean, that is a very tough test. I can't do 70 and a half. I'll tell you that right now. I think I could go 1 a minute. I think I could at least do that. Especially if there's some money on the line. I think I could get up to 10, 15 for sure.
Yeah,
interesting. I think I'm doing that for
with
sure.
The cash angle. You have that motivation.
100%.
And also, if you get like a six-pack in you and you go without
miss
lunch.
I mean, multiple times stumbling down Fremont Street, and I've probably had about 5 American Coney Island dogs, and in about 4 minutes anyways. So I think I can do that. I think I can do that.
Why not?
There you go.
Yeah. So there's a contest coming up tonight.
Yep.
That's going to be really, really cool here at Circa. Mm-hmm. A lot of people listening right now, watching the show. Well, they don't live in Las Vegas, but still, kind of like to live through the people here vicariously is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. It's the Weenies and Bikinis contest tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
Second annual.
Second annual Weenies and Bikinis contest up at Stadium Swim. We're super excited about it. 10 contestants. $5,000 prize pool, $2,500 to first place, $1,500 to second place, and $1,000 to third place. So, pretty good odds that you're going to be in the money, out of only 10 contestants, invite only. It is a all-female contestant panel as well. That's where you get the Weenies and Bikinis name from. So it's fun. I mean, we're completely sold out. Our PM reservations start at 5 o'clock, and we are already getting people showing up for it. So it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be beautifully disgusting. I think it's going to be a very fun night tonight. And we're actually going to be doing picture-in-picture, on the screen. We'll be filming it, and it'll be on the main screen at Stadium Swim. So anyone that doesn't have right in the front row, they will be able to literally see it on that massive screen at Stadium Swim.
That's well done.
Yeah.
And the people in the industry will get after it and spend some money. So good job there. What do you think takes it down tonight?
So last year, it was the winner 8:15, but she was a ringer kind of, and we didn't know she was a professional leader. So that's not going to happen this year. With 10 contestants, I'm going over/under at 6.5 for the winner.
And they get 5 minutes?
They get 5 minutes. They get 5 minutes to eat. That's correct.
What do you think?
I'm going to go under that number.
I gotta go under.
Yeah.
I'll bet you a beer goes under 6.5.
All right, I'll take the bet.
You want to do that?
I'll take the bet.
Yeah, I think that's these are all amateurs.
All amateurs. No one is returning from last year either. These are all 10 new contestants as well. So the funny part about last year is that there was a tie for third place.
Oh.
A tie for third place with 3. And there was 4 girls that tied with 3. And the funniest part is that the tiebreaker is a 1 hot dog
eat off,
to where whoever finishes that hot dog the fastest,
I'm telling you,
gets that third place $1,000.
How did that? If they struggled to get past 3, then how'd that eat off go?
Oh, it was so painful to watch. But
reversal. You have the reversal. You don't want to have it. Yep.
I mean, I guarantee these girls are running for the bathroom after. But we'll make sure that everything is needed and everyone's safe while doing this for sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you just don't want to have an accident out there. That's the last thing you want. I can't believe how busy it was. You put it on social media last weekend for the UFC at the pool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, it was madness. So what do you expect from UFC 318? And where are you at?
318, July 19th. Get the BMF title, right? It should be another complete sellout for UFC 318. We've been very fortunate to have these watch parties up at Stadium Swim. Yeah,
wow.
Right here you see it. I expect to be that exact busy, busy as that, if not busier. So complete buyout, complete, sellouts. And that's kind of been the case for every UFC, especially during the summer up at Stadium Swim.
I was shocked at the prices. I can get a cabana with my buddies all day, Saturday, UFC, $4,000.
Yeah, $4,000.
The whole day.
Well, yeah, from 8 a.m. all the way up until the end of the fights, probably around 11:15. Yep. So
15 hours.
15 hours.
I can't
you get
believe
15
it.
hours,
And-
$4,000. Yep.
And then you can have how many guys to a cabana?
We allow up to like 14. So you could really,
That's right.
spread.
And
yeah,
you sit
for sure.
there, just go up. Then that's going to be $4,000 that you're going to meet with the food and the drink.
Yeah, it's not a rental fee or anything. It's just a minimum. It's a required minimum spend. So you're just required to spend $4,000 on food and beverage.
Oh my God! You get 10 guys together for a cabana. Hello, the math is simple there, and you
Right.
get it for 15 hours. That includes like a big UFC card.
For sure.
Oh, that's incredible!
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong. The demand is, it's basic supply and demand. So prices might tier up from this 4K.
Yeah. How do you handle the Open Championship? And I know you did a great job with the Masters. How do you do the viewing party here where the timings goes early, and I think you guys open at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, well, for Stadium Swim, we will open up at 8 a.m. We're not going to open up any earlier than that for the Open. But, we're going to have it all over the screen, especially at that point in time where there's really not much going on besides some baseball games.
True.
It's going to be center screen. We'll have all the different holes available up on the screen. Then obviously in the sportsbook here, we will be showing that. That sportsbook doesn't close. So we'll be open and ready for the Open.
For sure.
At tee-off.
Do you know, top of your head? Now this is a couple of months down the line, but I would imagine Week 1 specifically in the NFL is an absolute monster. What do you guys get for cabanas for that week?
It's my favorite weekend of the whole entire year, to be completely honest, just because football's back. And we're probably getting anywhere from we're starting cabanas at $6K. But then we'll end up selling up to our normal cabanas. They'll go anywhere from 10 to 12. But we have our owner suites that you can fit about like 30 people in. Those are going from 20 to 25K.
And people can book those right now?
Oh, yeah.
At Circa Las
100%.
Vegas?
You can book all of football season all the way up until the end of January right now.
Excellent. And here's what I would recommend, by the way. So, and I know that we have a couple of months left, but if you're him and Han and you don't know what to do for your fantasy football party, I would tell you right now, the best thing that you could ever do is to bring your group that you're with, right, the league that you're in, everybody fly to Las Vegas and get a cabana one day, probably on the weekend if you can. If not, doesn't matter. Have your fantasy football draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim. You can't beat that.
No, you can't. And, we just kind of started doing it. I'm a massive fantasy football guy. So I'm like, why aren't we throwing fantasy football draft parties out here? So it comes with the draft kit. It comes with the stickers. It comes with all this stuff.
Yeah.
We have the whiteboard. You just get the cabana. You purchase the draft package. And, those Saturdays in August, like every single cabana will have a whiteboard doing a fantasy draft. So it is just a complete fantasy football draft party outside of your own. Everyone else is doing one as well. So it's a blast.
I remember when I was first getting in fantasy football, we would have them in basements.
Right.
Like on a Wednesday night, and we'd have like old Milwaukee on hand. And like there's 8 guys down there, and it would reek like a high school locker room.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, this is fun. But now, like Stadium Swim, I can't imagine like how awesome that's got to be compared to like what people are used to.
Yeah, can't beat it. I mean, I don't know if you're popping bottles of champagne in your basement. That you're definitely going to be doing that at Stadium Swim.
With Taryn or Sydney as well.
Exactly.
Coming
Yep.
over. If you want to book your fantasy, if you want a cabana or a spot here behind us at the best sports book in the world, circalasvegas.com. Reach out to Wilbo. Get at him on Instagram as well, circalasvegas.com. You make any bets? You high on anyone this upcoming NFL football season?
I haven't got there yet. No, I haven't done any NFL. I mean, obviously, I'm a diehard Lions fan. Always have been. So I'm excited to see how this. I mean, this is it's going to be a tough season, especially for the Lions.
I agree.
Playing that first seed schedule with everything they have and all those games and on the road. Yeah. So. But I do love. I'm taking the over on the Ravens. I think if I were to make a Super Bowl bet, it'd be Ravens versus Lions.
I hope you're right, but that's I don't know. I just think you have too much to overcome. You
I
lose
agree.
both coordinators. The schedule's brutal.
Yeah. The coordinators though.
You don't think that's a big deal?
I think we had good people behind them. I think in terms of the offensive coordinator, obviously Ben Johnson was a wizard, but he he got too cute and he's a little arrogant at sometimes. That's why we lost the playoff game. So, I think, Brad Holmes and Campbell have built this staff around a team that should be around for a while.
I like what you said, though, in the AFC. And I'm super high on them as well. Tough not to be, right?
Right.
Most people are going to make the case for the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their path to me because of the division to get the 1 seed overall, think is. But the Ravens are loaded to the gills again this year.
Yeah. I mean, you make the same thing about the Bills with the Ravens. It's about time. They finally get to the Super Bowl. So, I like both of them, but I'm definitely leading the Ravens.
And watch what's going to happen. This is going to be the year when finally everybody's fading Kansas City. Can't do it. Not going to happen again. All those one-score games. 14-3 again. Here you go. 1 seed and probably make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, we can only hope that doesn't happen, but it most likely will.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Great job. Good to see you.
Well, appreciate you guys having me on for this 4th of July.
Let me know. Put that on social media. I want to see and text us what the record is. Or
what the
100%.
gal who wins.
We'll get a bet on that.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Last year we were trying to pull footage from the hot dog eating contest. Of the contestants during it. We're like, we can't post this. Like, this is gross, but it is hilarious, and it's a beautiful spectacle. Because what's more American than eating hot dogs on the 4th of July?
Well, and they're in bikinis, right?
Exactly, and they're in bikinis.
Well done.
There you go. All right, Wilbo, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
There you go. All right, let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Again, coming up in about 20 minutes, Matt Vasgersian. We'll look at tonight's card with him from MLB Network. Up next, we'll go down the games tonight, the night session of games. 17 straight unders when this team is involved. I'll give you the details on that next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We'll get into baseball here in a second. I got to tell you, the story in the NBA is very bizarre to me because the Nuggets have had a terrific offseason. I thought if you grabbed them right away before the numbers were moving, either to win the West or to win the title, you had a good bet in pocket. One of the reasons why, don't laugh, but they needed backup help at the center position big time. Just give them minutes, right?
Sure.
So they traded for Jonas Valanciunas. Now the story goes that he's going to want out of his contract. That trade can't happen, by the way, until July 6th, I believe, and finalize the deal. Then the report came out that he was going to go to Greece and meet with the team over there. According to reports and this Twitter account from the European League over in Greece, they have a photo of him arriving. Mark Stein just tweeted out that he has arrived in Athens. The 13-year vet would need to be released from his NBA contract to make the move. But a similar story did play out last season with another player. Strange, man. Like, that's
Big
it.
blow. Tough blow.
I would
You're
think
right.
so.
Every time Joker went to the bench, it was an unmitigated disaster. We thought when those numbers last year, they'll never happen again. Like, it was the best offense in NBA history when he's on. They're the worst team in the league when he's off.
Yeah.
Offensive efficiency
They couldn't tie their shoes with him off the court.
No.
They were so bad.
So that'd be a tough loss as well. And the other news is we talked to Anthony Irwin earlier today. He did say maybe that Ayton plays with LeBron. I'm sick of this already now, too. I love the guy. I respect his game and what he's done for the league, and I want to go. It's a bucket list to go see him play before he retires. But he's got to be the most narcissistic guy you've ever. Come on,
It happens every year.
Yeah, does the same thing about the look at me between the press releases, and I'm keeping the team's Luka now. The guy's in his mid-20s. He's the whole focus now of the organization.
Has to be.
And his extension, his deal, he can come up and sign the max in August. So I go back to Cleveland. I'm going to take pictures. You opted in, and you have a no trade clause. So come on, what are we doing here? Not to mention the Cavs can't do it anyways because they're in the second apron.
Okay, so where would you put the Lakers right now in the pecking order of the Western Conference?
A top 5 discussion.
You
top
think
5
like
team.
fifth or fringe top 5?
Yeah, and more moves coming. More moves to be made. I certainly would not give up Hachimura or connect pieces for Wiggins. I wouldn't do that. What did he say? Hachimura? Yeah, I wouldn't do that for Wiggins, and certainly they're out to lunch in Miami. You can't say give us all this for Wiggins with his bad contract and his age, and then you offered nothing for Durant and offered, peanuts for that deal as well. So, again, they don't know what direction they're going, and they should blow it and rebuild, but doesn't look like they're going to do that. But what's out there, who can they get? I'm going to immediately rule out Beal. Don't want him. And I actually don't hate the fact that if you could, late in the year, try to do something for Lillard. Minnesota be a good fit, but we'll see, number one, if he can come back, what that looks like, and still a guy who'll give you 25 points per game. But
you see the Twitter account, Golden State going after Damian Lillard?
I saw that one,
what they would look like.
Well, that's, again, Mark Spears is connected, has a good relationship with him. And on ESPN, he did his top 5 landing spots. And number 2 was Golden State, and number 1 was Minnesota. Lakers were on that list, too, but he knows
I don't know,
them.
man.
He knows them. By the way, Golden State apparently is going to get Al Horford, according to experts. So that's another one.
So that's what the starting 5 would look like potentially. It would be Curry. Once Lillard would come back, Jimmy Butler, Al Horford, and then Draymond. Are they going to be collecting Social Security checks on the court?
Up there, yeah.
I mean, that's a really old starting 5 down the road for Golden State.
Okay, so back to your earlier question, and I was listening to a couple people today who cover the NBA, and Anthony Irwin was great on this from Lakers Lounge. The Suns people are saying it won't work out. He won't roll to the basket. He won't set screens. He'll get frustrated. The Portland people are saying it will work out. This will be great for Ayton. It was, I believe, Brian Windhorst who pointed out he had his best year with the Suns when there's all this stuff on YouTube and there's a compilation clip of Paul just screaming at him in timeouts, during timeouts. But it worked. It got the fire lit, and let's go for it. I think this has to be the ultimate motivation that Portland bought you out. It didn't work out in Phoenix. It didn't work out in Portland. You're going to a good team, a semi-contender, LeBron James and Luka, same agent. You can eat. You can score. You have to put the time in. I don't think the people are saying Luka's going to get frustrated and run out of patience. So will Redick. I think it'll work, but it's a chance you had to take and gamble. No one else was out there. He's 14-10.
Well, you had to do this if you're the Lakers.
Yes,
you had no other choice.
Yes.
And to me, it was obvious. I brought that up earlier in the week when I said you can bet him at 3-1. I think the number makes a lot of sense. Like, is it coincidence? LeBron's complaining about the roster. What are they going to do? We need some more moves. And then 10 hours later, hey, the Blazers are going to, release and cut and buy out DeAndre Ayton for $30 million, whatever it was. Now, I do think it also boils down to how much faith you have in J.J. Redick as the head coach, and I think he's going to be good at the NBA level. I think we saw, bits and pieces of that last year already with the Lakers, and I think that he'll find out a way, and maybe this isn't, last for the entire year, but he's good enough to go into the lab, so to speak, right, and sit there and watch video and in his mind come up with a way to make Ayton work on the floor at the same time as the other guys that you already mentioned. I think Redick's going to be fine at the NBA level.
Yeah.
And potentially really good down the road. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't have them as a top 5 team right now, or I should say top 4 team. I would have them 5th in the West or borderline top 5 in the Western Conference.
I don't know. Yeah. I'd like to know how that series looks if they had Ayton last year against Minnesota. The fact that they didn't have a center was a killer, and then they blew some big leads in those road games. But it's all about matchups, too, and how it can break. But they gave OKC fits in those 2 late games in the regular season. But certainly, I think that's a good matchup for them against Denver, especially if Valanciunas leaves.
I don't. Not anymore. I think Denver's had an awesome offseason. I think maybe last year's Denver team.
All right. I think that'd be a good matchup for him. I saw Bruce Brown's older, but they have had a good offseason. But also, you got off that Porter contract, which was big. But Cam Johnson's a nice player.
All right, Major League Baseball, 2 games in action right now. Uh-oh. Rays backers getting a little sweaty here.
Oh, boy.
They led 3-1, bottom of the 7th. They now lead 3-2. Bases are loaded for the Twins. It looks like we have 2 men out. So they had to go to the pen again, bring in another guy. They are on pitcher number 3 in this game, facing, I want to make sure I have this right here for the Twins. Looks like 3, 4, and 5, but with 2 outs and plenty of time here to go. And Tampa Bay was a popular bet today to win this game outright at plus money. We'll see how this is going to play out, but I agreed with the market, and I thought that the Twins being favored in this game was Not appropriate.
As did I. What did Wu end up going?
6 innings.
All right, 6-0 Mariners, top of the ninth, ready to finish off the Pirates, and they played long ball. Big Dumpers got 2. Rosarina hit another one, so they're putting the finishing touches on this one. Boy, has he been good, Wu.
Yeah, I lost a bet there. I had over 18.5 outs. He went 18. Do you agree with this? 6 innings pitched, 93 pitches overall. They said no more.
Okay.
But that's the state of Major League Baseball. I could not expect the team to bring him out there after 93 pitches. He was up to 60 pitches in the 4th inning, and I knew my bet was going to be in trouble. But I also wonder if they did not tack on the extra run there in the bottom of the 6th, if he would have come out for maybe one more inning. But regardless...
You're right. Yep.
Okay.
Twins just tied it.
They did?
The other
Okay.
thing, and they're playing games with this Padre game all day. Texas favored, then the Padres. Texas goes back to favorite. Padres $1.15 at DraftKings.
Wow.
Rocker against Vasquez, total of 8.5.
That's really going to be a killer because Luke just told me that's back-to-back players hit by pitch.
Oh, is that
to
right?
get those runs in. I want to pay off the tees.
Yep.
Here's the trend, and again, take this for what it's worth. But Hendricks goes for the Angels. We just saw the Blue Jays mash Yankee starters. 17 straight opposing pitchers have gone under their K prop, while they've had 4 or fewer. Let me rephrase. 17 straight starters have had 4 or fewer Ks when they face the Blue Jays in Toronto. The problem with that is tonight, Hendricks K prop, I think, is 2.5.
Okay, that's the rub. That's the rub.
Right.
Yep. Our NFL guide's out, over 90 pages. Awesome. We talked with Scott Seidenberg earlier today. Bills 1 seed, Bills most wins. How about Colts? Fewest points, 22-1. Available now. Team previews, preview every division, win total breakdowns, best bets from everyone, props, betting projections, MVP. Lock in the football special, just $175. Full VSiN Pro access through the Super Bowl. Every betting guide, every best bet, every host, every guest, the 24/7 video, all the tools. I can't remember. Was it Kelly Bidlin? Someone had Seattle. One of their best bets was Seahawks last place. That's a good one. Early bird pricing expires at the end of the month. Get it now. Everything through the football season for $175. VSiN.com/subscribe. Lock it in. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Was it a nice plus price?
No, it wasn't. Plus 140 or something?
No,
I thought they'd be a lot higher.
I expect them to finish in last place. But I also like Will Hill's bet of Steelers to get eliminated in the wild card round.
Yeah.
That's
Plus
330, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're not a Darnold guy. Going to be ugly in Seattle. Fair enough.
All right, up next, Matt Vasgersian is going to join the program. MLB Network. We'll get his look at tonight's Major League Baseball card next on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Doesn't get much more American than Major League Baseball. On July 4th, have a hot dog, have a beer, have a slice of apple pie, whatever you want to do today. And we'll talk more about it here as the great Matt Vasgersian joins the program, does a bang-up job on MLB Network, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line. Matt, happy 4th. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Yeah, happy 4th, guys. I'm great. You know, watching these early games, everything went over the run to total, except for this Mariners-Pirates game, because the Pirates just refused to score runs, and the Mariners aren't exactly the 32 Yankees either.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to start there with you as well. His MVP odds are moving today based on another terrific game. The big dumper, Cal Raleigh, with 2 home runs, 35 as a catcher now on the year. When he hit his second one, Matt, we looked immediately for the odds. He was still plus 950, down to 8-1. Can this happen in your opinion? Can he really overtake Aaron Judge and win the AL MVP at the end of the year?
I mean, can it? Sure. If he out homers Judge, he's going to get some consideration. The problem is Judge is going to have better numbers just about everywhere else. And I still give Cal Raleigh all the credit, but the wear and tear that he takes at that position to maintain that kind of profile offensively while catching 60 games after the break, man, if he does it, that gives him special props, but he's got a burden that Judge doesn't have because he has to catch.
I wonder if voters will take that into consideration as well. The fact that he is playing that position.
They should.
Right?
I think they should. I just wonder about the drop-off, the wear and tear. Man, I know that when Piazza was putting up those massive numbers, when he was doing what Raleigh's doing, the second half drop off was real. And I hope he can avoid it, because I'd love to have an actual race for AL MVP. That'd be fun.
You also call Angels games. Can you believe this? 500 ball in the mix. Could be buyers at the deadline? How about what your Angels are doing?
Let me tell you, if you were to ask the common fan, if you were to ask me, which team is going to be the only team on July 4th to only use 4 starters, I sure would not have said the Los Angeles Angels. They're the only team that's used the same dudes all 5 spots in the rotation. I mean, they've been phenomenal. Jose Soriano goes over his K-prop yesterday. Knuckle curve was fabulous. It looked like Kyle Hendricks, after his first month or so, might not get this far into the season in an Angel uniform. He's been really good, and he knows how to pitch. He's fun to watch, man. And if I'm game planning that game tonight, and I'm going to watch that because it's going to be fun, because the Jays are red hot right now. Springer's on fire, but the guy that I'd worry about is Addison Barger, because he wears out off speed. He's got an expected slug of over 900 against off speed. And Kyle Hendricks he throws a higher changeup percentage to left-handed batters than anybody in the sport. So Barger's going to get off speed tonight, and he's red hot. And that would be the guy that, if I'm the Angels coaching staff, I'd be worried most about.
That is a terrific little nugget. I'm thinking of shopping around as soon as we hit in-pocket plays coming up in about 15 minutes. Look, White Sox, Rockies, 2 of the worst teams in baseball. White Sox, worst team of all time last year. Rockies going to probably beat them out this year. But this can maybe make for some sort of a fun series and maybe create some bets that people actually want to make. For example, you like something tonight between these 2 teams. What is it, Matt?
Yeah, we'll just call that the Turd Bowl, the White Sox and Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my God, to think that somebody's going to lap the White Sox in losses just a year later. Antonio Senzatella pitching tonight for Colorado. He, among the things that have been hit the hardest in his repertoire, is his sinker and his changeup. So if you look for White Sox who are good against a right-handed sinker and changeup, the guy that pops up is Brooks Baldwin, and he's batting in the middle of the lineup tonight. He homered last night against Dustin May, broke up his shutout with a 2-run homer in L.A. Switch hitter, young second-year player, and I don't think Senzatella has anything for him. So I don't know what numbers would be on Brooks Baldwin going over. If you could find him at a half a total base, I think that'd be pretty tasty. It's in Denver, so offensive fireworks, and he'd be my guy there, Brooks Baldwin.
Deep cut, like it. I'll look
deep
for those.
Cut, deep cut. I got a homer that I like tonight too, by the way, because we're all on this fade the Guardians train. They've been really bad, man. And they're not only bad, they're a bad watch. They got guys that are cold. And when your best player, Jose Ramirez, is 0 for 21, and you're not sure if he's hurt or not because he hasn't gotten a hit since he's been hit in the forearm by Kevin Gausman last week, they're in bad shape. The problem is pitching for the Tigers tonight is Reese Olson, who it's his first start in a while. He made 3 rehab starts because he had a finger injury. So he made 3 rehab starts, but he hasn't made a rehab start in 9 days. I know he's played catch. I know he's had bullpens, but he hasn't been on a game mound in 9 days. So instead of just laying the juice on Detroit, what about finding a Riley Green prop somewhere? Because Riley Green's sweet spot for power is on the road versus right-handed pitching and at night. And Slade Ciccone, who's on the mound for the Guardians, checks all those boxes. Not to mention, Slade Ciccone has a opposing OPS of 850 against lefties, opposing slug over 500 against lefties. And Riley Green's DHing tonight, where he's hit 5 homers in 13 games as a DH. So, I mean, it kind of lines up for Riley Green tonight to do something pretty fun. I was worried about, DHing, but then I looked at it and I'm like, man, 5 homers in 13 games at that spot. He doesn't mind not playing defense at all.
Plus 350. Let's take it. Plus 350 to go deep.
Plus 3. That's all you get.
I know.
Man, these numbers hack me off, man. God.
They're not giving you much on Baldwin either. They have 2 hits. He's like $3 to have a hit. I know, but that's tough too. But you're right how bad it's been. Lost 7 in a row, outscored 38-12, and you mentioned the funk that Ramirez is in and couldn't score against the Cubbies yesterday.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything if he's hurt. I mean, it's worse. It's worse than what it looks like too, because in the 7-game losing streak, they've been shut out 4 times. And here are 2 numbers that are really concerning for the Guardians. They're 3 for 33 during that losing streak with runners in scoring position. So the rate is terrible, right? 3 for 33 is a terrible rate. But they've only had 33 at bats with a runner in scoring position in the last week in 7 games. That's no good.
No, that's brutal. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network. What do you want to make of Lance McCullers tonight going against this Dodgers offense?
Yeah, Lance McCullers has been pretty good. That to me feels like a stay away from game for whatever reason. I mean, it's just so easy to say the Dodgers to score over 5 runs every night, but McCullers has been pretty good against the Dodgers.
Yep.
He hasn't given up a run on the road. I know he's coming off a clunker, so if you like a buy low spot, and I don't know. And Ben Kasperius, I like that dude, man. He's one of the Dodgers depth guys that keeps them floating. Like this Justin Robleski. I don't know if you've seen him throw the ball. My God, this guy's from outer space. Big, huge left-hander with sink. Forget it. I think that Dodger game's a stay away from tonight for me.
Mookie Betts props look good. He's owned McCullers. What do you think of Mizorowski?
Yeah, I mean, boy, it's fun to watch when a guy like that, when he fires early in his career, and he's really elevated the kind of the vibe at American Family Field too. People love watching him pitch, and the Brewers, to get a guy like that after the players they lost in free agency this year, I love the fact that they reloaded with a kind of a gate attraction starter.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, we have about 2 minutes left here. We kicked this around earlier in the show. With Kershaw getting strikeout number 3,000 the other night, if Sale doesn't get there, and he needs more than 400 right now, Garrett Cole doesn't get there, let's pretend for a second that neither one of those guys reached that mark. Will we ever see it again in our lifetime?
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, the way starting pitching is used these days, you're going to get guys that flash. Everybody's like, what about Skeens? What about some of these? I mean, you hope Skeens is around long enough to get to 2,000. But 3,000 strikeouts, I mean, it used to be that the benchmark for a big strikeout season was 220, 250. Schilling used to do that pretty regularly, guys in that era. Now you might get a couple of guys north of 200 strikeouts in a year, a few guys. I mean, Spencer Strider, look at him. He's going tonight, by the way. He would have been the guy that we would have said 2 years ago, he's got a chance at 3,000 strikeouts. And then he has surgery. He misses a year and a half of his career. He's interesting tonight, by the way. 7.5 is a big number, but he's facing the Orioles tonight, and the Orioles have their 5 highest strikeout rate players all starting. Strider's last 4, 13, 8, 8, and then he had 4 in his last start. Big whiff rate on his slider, and there are a couple guys in that Baltimore lineup that whiff harder on the slider. So if you have a stomach for a big number, 7.5 on Spencer Strider could be a fun sweat tonight. You
could ladder him a little bit, go over 7.5, 8.5, and 9.5, and just make smaller bets on the bigger numbers like that too.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Get me to the window with an alias, as I like to say.
Yeah, there you go. Matt, happy 4th. Great as always. Thanks for the time.
Good talking to you guys. Talk to you soon.
Me too.
Be good.
Great info.
There you go. Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network. Up next, In Pocket Plays coming at you. Follow the money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Was on coke if his girlfriend was not. These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's unborn children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
All right. The Phillies games from the other day. The hot streak comes to an end with a thud. No good. The Aces on the money line routed by the Fever. I was the only one who bet it. It opened 1.5, closed 5. Never in the game. That one's tough. And we lick our wounds from that one. And Mickey Sudo I couldn't believe that today. I thought that was wrong. You get it? Because I wake up early, I see, 11th mustard belt, wins it again, and then you see, she won 33 hot dogs. Couldn't believe it.
So when I first read it was 33. By the way, do they not televise the women's live?
I don't think so.
I
caught it on the replay.
Yeah, they showed the replay right before the men's, and I had ESPN on, and I don't know, maybe I was on the wrong network or had it on the Deuce or whatever, but I'm reading up on it, I'm like, what'd she whack down today? 33. I'm like, is it in the middle of the competition right now? That was my first takeaway.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, right. As of a couple years ago, they didn't show it live because people would reach out and say, Bookser's late to take it down.
That's wrong. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So I think, that's weird. That's good point. I thought that was like, wait, we still got...
There's got to be like 3 minutes left, whatever.
She had 51 last year,
right?
And then she's not even challenged. That's the other thing.
She won it, not challenged with 33.
Right. Full breakdown Monday. She's on the show, so congrats to her and her family, but no good there. Okay, so I'm going to go. Mookie Betts has incredible numbers against McCullers, hitting 600 against him in his career. 2 total bases, minus 130. However you want to play it, I'll go 2 total bases tonight, minus 130. You want to go hits, runs, RBIs, whatever you want to do, but that's what I'll do with Mookie. And I don't mind the Astros plus $1.50 as well. Obviously not on the air Sunday. The Chicago Sky don't play until Sunday. Weird stretch here where they've got all this time off. But see what the books do. They're not up yet. What they do with Angel Reese. Here's the run she's on. And Doug Kazarian just saying last time he was in studio with us about it's laughable how low they're making her rebounds. 24-16, 17-18, 18-17, 10 points, 19 boards, 17 points, 10 boards. The offense has been great. They've been going small. She's been awesome offensively. And then the first player in history back-to-back games with 15 boards or more. Johnny Avello at DraftKings also puts up the me-bounds, how many offensive rebounds she'll get as well. So that's to point out, note, as they're back in action Sunday, and they'll put those rebounds low. Like Doug said, 12.5. You got to pound that over. Good luck.
Got a number for you. They're up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's up. A couple of different books. First of all, what number do you want to bet over?
I want over 12.5, 13.5.
You can find 13.5. That's the number right now.
Okay.
But it's already juiced to the over.
Okay.
So
16, 18, 17, 19, plus she's aware of the streak, right? I'm setting records here. Keep doing this.
Here's what I would do.
Right.
Now, and I'm unaware of this, will books offer a chance to ladder her rebounding props? Because if you're going to dive in right now, you might as well dive in all the way and play over 13.5 and then grab plus money up to like over 15.5 and maybe even 16.5.
Is Cordasco still out?
I believe so.
That's
but that game's not till Sunday again, so...
Yeah, right.
I got some stuff pending here. Again, the Bucky Irving Offensive Player of the Year was bet this week at 67-1. Vikings win total over. And then a cross-sport parlay as well. I'm adding no baseball, Pauly. You said earlier that the hot streak ended. I wish I knew what a hot streak was like.
Yeah.
So I'm taking some time off of betting baseball. Been a bad summer for me.
All right, my friend. Need a proxy? Join the world's biggest football contest with one trip to Vegas anytime before the season starts. I talked to a couple proxies, and they said it's booming over at the Westgate. They're excited. And I know Jeff Sherman said how well the college contest is doing. But
is that for all their contests?
Yes.
Or?
Yes.
Oh, very
Don't
good.
Sleep on the $5,000 one, too. Trusted by thousands of players over the last 9 seasons. Winner Circle Proxy helped clients win over $9 million in the last 2 years. Learn more about using a trusted proxy service. Visit winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. Go get them. So we know 4 people? At least 4 people have told us they're going to get in the Grandissimo?
Wow. Is it that many?
Yeah. RM, FB.
Okay.
What David Baker said on air yesterday?
Possibly.
All right.
And
maybe Sean Deeb. He just won $3 million
Why would he
yesterday.
not get in? Mike Palm was saying that guys were going to wire their money in here anytime soon because they're coming to Vegas like now,
Yeah.
I guess, to get it out of the way and sign up for that. Let me give you this. Julian McMahon passed away.
He was
56 years old. You might not know that name, but I'm a master of starting TV shows. Even if I like them, I don't finish them for some reason. For example, like The Americans, awesome. I'm like into it like 3 seasons. I've never finished it for some stupid reason. I started Nip Tuck many years ago.
Very good.
Loved it.
Yes.
Never finished it.
Goes out with a whimper.
Okay, but it's solid
still,
up until.
Got really some weird storylines at the end. But he is awesome in that show.
He plays Dr. Christian Troy. 56. You're seeing cancer?
Yeah, it says they had cancer.
Ah, boy.
He's also in Charmed. Lengthy resume, Australian. That's one show I did finish with the ex. I think it was around megabucks when we, no one was working and figured watch that. But he was strong, good role. Plays the surgeon and getting out after it with the gals. And
yes, he does.
Yeah,
Yep.
He's a great character. That's too bad.
That's very, very sad news. I think a big takeaway, again, you mentioned this earlier, from what the Fever did last night, because we said in Do You Concur, like, they have re-entered the chat.
She's out again tomorrow, too, by the way.
Okay.
Fever, Clark will miss her 5th straight game against L.A.
Well, they're still favored by 5.5 points in that game.
Yeah.
So, but the bigger takeaway is how bad the Aces are. Paul, they're laying 16.5 on Sunday against the Sun. Like, I know we talked to Matt Vasgersian earlier. He's like that he said the Dodgers-Astros game feels like a stay away. I know the Sun are the absolute bottom feeders of the league. They're horrendous. I can't lay 16.5 with the Aces.
In the mother of all bad spots, you get blown out 81-54. Wilson, your star player, is great and has 29. She's outscores the rest of the team. The second leading scorer was Jackie Young, who had 6 frickin' points.
Yeah. They have, like, nobody on the team other than Wilson for the most part.
No. They're
not a good team.
No. That tells you all you need to know.
Well,
3 of 16 from 3 doesn't help, but that's just, come on. They just won the championship, the Commissioner's Cup. They are getting after it hardcore, celebrating. They come back a day later and they pound you.
I will go back 1 week from tonight. You were off the air. I would actually argue that spot for the Fever was worse than last night. They were playing another road game. They just got blown out in the fourth quarter by LA, 35-17. They lost the game. No Caitlin Clark. They opened as an 11-point favorite. They dropped down to like 5. They still lost the game by 10. The next night, they were playing on the road against Dallas, a rested team with no Caitlin Clark, and they were blowing them out in the first quarter. So evidently, they're spot-proof. And what does that mean when Clark's going to come back and actually be healthy? Because when she was back after the injury, she came back too fast. That Liberty game was the exception to the rule. She was terrible, and she was kind of hurting the team. But now they're finding a way to actually win against these teams and play well without her. That's going to be scary, I think, moving forward. The Lynx are laying 14.5 in that game tomorrow against Chicago, by the way.
Should have had them yesterday. And I mentioned it on air. Should have gave that out.
Well, in play, they were dead early.
Good, yeah.
And they came back and they killed Washington in that game.
The Sparks team is frisky, too. They had a nice lead on the Liberty, and Lynx were won by 17, but yeah, Sparks are fun to watch.
All right, so what's the game plan for July 4th tonight?
Get some food, some little TV shows. I think Shauna's getting in tonight from Arizona after hanging out with her son. We'll see what happens there. You
going to make a hot dog? You got to stop by the grocery store and get a pack of hot dogs. It doesn't matter. Just put them in the microwave if you have to.
I tell you, you got me fired up down the street with this fish fillet you sent in.
Oh,
the mother of all fish fillets you sent
I've had
in.
it.
Yeah, I love fish fillets.
I know. It's a weak spot. It's tremendous.
You get the double.
To blow your mind.
Double order.
Yeah.
Extra tartar sauce, baby.
I feel like it's mandatory to have at least one hot dog, a brat, whatever, on July 4th. I never had time today. So before the show, I'm going to do it tonight. We're going to go to a very small cookout and take Sebastian with us. And
there you go.
There you go. That's the night.
Excellent.
Very quiet.
Protect your dogs.
But here's the deal, right? We're going to be gone. Fireworks are going to start. So we're going to be away from our dogs at the house. We're going to crank the volume on the TV or the radio.
Good move.
So hopefully that'll distract them enough not to get involved and go absolutely bananas. All right. Great job by Luke this week and everybody behind the glass. If you missed any of our shows, we had stellar guests the entire time. You can always go back, Follow the Money, the podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Stay tuned. Prime time is next. Have a great weekend. Be safe. No JPPs out there. Don't blow the hands off this weekend.